Kombat crew, and welcome back to Scorpion Sub-Zero.
Open the
box.
Today
We have a surprise. Because this never happens, I'm going to open a box today. All right?
Okay.
Nobody saw it coming.
Yeah, no,
so I'm
it doesn't say that in the title or anything.
No. This is another one that I knew was coming. It was coming before in the last filming, but it did not arrive in time. So now we're doing it this time with the Villainous Prop Shop.
Great seller.
He makes the best 3D prints, quality prints, with the minimum number of tracks.
And affordably.
The pattern and they're affordable. They're only like $35, $36.
Free shipping.
In that range for each of the blanks. You can get every character pretty much right now, and he's doing a lot of mask creations for me. And I've got, and you've seen already, because it's already been released, but not before this video is being filmed, but you can see it now. This is the previous Villainous Prop Shop project DIY that I did for the MK11 version of the classic look for Scorpion. This is MK11.
I gotta say,
this is the most difficult process I have ever done, but it came out flawlessly. And if you want to see the DIY of how to do this, go back and watch that one if you haven't seen it, because I'm not going to do the step-by-step with this one. Because it's going to be exactly the same. It's just that this one I know is going to be yellow instead of gold. But here we go. And we're going to look at it. And then note the different variations to it of why I got it. Even though it looks like the same thing, but it isn't. Hi,
is that Kenshi Sento right there? Are you opening it with that?
This is Jintashi. This is a Jintashi. Ceremonial samurai sword.
Okay? Yes, you would know that.
But it's also the best box opener. So you take the sword, and then you take the box, and you put the box on the sword, like this.
We're learning things, Kombat crew.
Okay, so that's now cut.
You should have done that in one slash. You should have pulled it out and just. It should have been really fast.
It's the cross section. You got to cross section it first. You're gonna get all these packing peanuts out of the way, and the order form, which is always on the top. Usually it doesn't do packing peanuts. That's kind of weird. Because it's the Armageddon version, by the way. Specifically, the Armageddon skin of the mask that I'm wearing right now. This is MK4.
Right? Works well with your outfit, too. And this is just going to be flat. And you said you're going to turn it into the other mask, basically, and just yellow form instead to match that outfit, probably.
Yeah. I will do it like this, because the classic is kind of a saturated, a very saturated yellow. This is going for like mellow yellow or sunny.
You should have a video explaining the yellows at some point in time, just like I should explain the blues, which sounds like I'm talking about something else.
I did hold up a color palette at one point of all the different ones. This one is specifically quite fat, just as a design.
What's your favorite yellow, Scorpion?
My favorite yellow is Detonator. Detonator yellow. That's the one. Okay.
Or was that a Ferrari? I think he had a Ferrari, or I don't know much about cars. Sorry, Kombat crew. I slide my way, and I have frost dragons. I don't use vehicles to get around. Oh, it starts out as gray.
Go. He's using sometimes he uses a black filament, but for these ones he's using the gray. This is it's a neutral. If you wanted to do scratch and dent, or like the appearance of metal underneath a paint, that's probably what he's going for, because you just scratch the paint a little bit and then it'll look metal underneath. But here it is.
Is that going to fit you?
To do.
Well, you have was that the same one as that other one?
Now look at the difference. And the style.
Yeah, stylistically, it's a little bit clunkier.
Stylistically, it's not. It's shorter. It's rounded on the backside. It rounds down instead of protrudes upwards like these do.
Is it called something different? What's the difference in the name?
It is not. It is the skin for Armageddon. So they're different games that these are responsible for. So every time Scorpion goes through, or Sub-Zero goes through an iteration change. Slight differences with the skins. Like for yours, Forever was like that same MK9, MK Alliance, Deadly Alliance variation. You had that for a lot of games.
Yes, it shifts just ever so slightly.
Just a little bit different. And the same thing with mine. It's MK4.
And then with MK11, there's all the even more variations of that. Nice shelf at the bottom. That's a very big shelf, though. That means if it doesn't match up with the right point on your nose, that may be a problem.
It's very different, by the way, because the other MK11 version has no shelf whatsoever.
Right.
It goes straight down.
It's gonna suction to your face.
Looks like enough generous amount of space for my jaw to move up and down when I'm talking.
Uh-huh.
Unlike if it was a stubby mask, it was like very, very close from the nose peak to the bottom of the jaw. If those are close together, you can't speak at all. Like the MK9 over there that Darb Designs did. I wouldn't have been able to talk if I had not taken the shelf out. Let me get close to you. When we get close to you guys, then you can see it. Look at it. This is a blank. It's a little dirty. I'll get some sanding out, get some sanding done. And with these kind of rounded shapes that aren't right angles, much easier to sand. Much more forgiving than something that's very, very, very sharp edges and a lot of abrasive and abrupt corners. Like this was hard. This will not be as hard as this to do.
And I can see it's a little bit rough, mainly around that inner black part in the front, where it won't matter. And inside, of course, where it's also not going to matter. So yeah, that black part will be completely fine, but there will need to be a little bit of sanding probably taken into account there.
Get gloss in here. Do a gloss or a matte? I'm wondering. Because this is all glossy. So I could do a gloss or a matte finish for this to counteract this, to kind of be different. I think I might do that.
I don't know. You're the inventor here.
Yeah, I'll probably do that.
Let's see it on your face, though.
Okay, I'm gonna take this down. Well, this is the 22-inch variation, which I think you get in that size sometimes, but it varies because that was tight for you.
Right.
22 was tight for you, but 23 is too big for me.
The 22 stabs me in the temples.
My forehead is the problem. My forehead is bigger than my face. I just need to pad this up and see how much padding to use.
Yeah, I think once you pad it, it'll fit a little bit better. But it even in silver, the way it reflects, it really looks nice when it's lit up like that. And it does fit your face quite well.
So you can hear me clearer. Because you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can. It's just almost like you're speaking into a toilet, sort of. It's halfway there.
A little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit. So it won't take much probably on the pad.
If I did drill holes, it would be much easier to drill holes in this. See at the spacing between the black part and the T in the middle? It's so small.
Tiny, right.
In this one. I couldn't do that.
You could even put one in the nose area, too, in that one.
You can't even get a brush in there.
Oh, yeah.
It was a bit... I had to X-wing it like the Death Star to get in the channel with a sideways brush and not touch the sides because...
You only get one chance, right?
Yeah, you only want one shot.
So
this one's much more forgiving, so I can easily put holes in it.
Which of the two was naturally more comfortable when you put it up against your face?
I do believe when I was comparing this, when it was unfinished, when we were doing the video, I never put it on.
So you don't really have it. You'll know at the end of this video. You'll be able to say which one's more comfortable then once the pads are in.
Yeah, but I know for a fact that one's narrower.
Mm-hmm.
So this one, I would have to add more padding than that one to make it tight to my face.
It looks like it fits you well, and I'm curious to see what it's going to look like at the end. You're going for a...
You guys will see that right now.
Hello, Kombat crew, and welcome to the workshop. But we're not actually doing a full DIY this time. Why? Because we already did it. Kind of. We did this. If you didn't see the video where I DIY'd this bad boy, go over there and check that out. This is the MK11 version of something that looks very similar to this. But here we are at the end of finishing off this beauty right here. Take it away from the light because it's destroying everything. But look at it. This is the Armageddon. Notice the difference. MK4. MK11. Armageddon. Completely different designs, even though they look very similar to each other. That's the reason why I have 3 of them. It's because they're not the same. Notice this yellow. This is a very one-trick pony yellow. It's very flat. It's kind of toward a shade a little bit. It's kind of going toward the green a little. But this is 3 different ones. I didn't do everything completely the same, and that's the reason why I'm here now. Tell you the differences between a mask that I did here and the mask that is this. Look how tall this mask is. This is the 3rd tallest mask I have. And the first 2 really don't count, because one is by Mox Designs, whose design is so badass it doesn't fit on the shelf almost. But it's not actually from a game. It's an inspiration. So his tall mask doesn't really fall into the category of being the tallest scorpion mask from a game. The one that crown is MK9, but that's only because the crown is included in the mask design. And so it's taller, obviously, because it goes from the tip of your head to the bottom of your chin. Doesn't count either. This is the tallest half mask, by far. So when I put this on, I'm gonna look like, Thanos. One thing I did completely wrong, and every mask maker out there knows how wrong it is. I started backwards because I'm impatient. It's part of my character trait. I didn't want to wait for the paint process to dry, reapply, So I did the finishing part, sanded it, and then added the straps and pads to paint later. Idiot, that's me, because I am impatient, and so this is why. If you look in here at the finished inside, I could not avoid getting a little bit of paint on the outer edges of those pads, which doesn't really matter to me, because when seen from the front, the pads on the edges, which usually are black or gray and they kind of stand out a little bit, they're yellow too. So you don't really see those. They're minimalist. A lot of this mask is beveled, like really heavy. So I had to tuck some giant pads in there, kind of make sure that they would touch my face first before the mask edges do. Inside, I couldn't do the vent thing that I did in this variation for air channels, because as you see, there's no shelf for the jawline. But here, there's only a shelf for the jawline. This is the shelfiest jawline in the world of masks right now. So much so that if you see in here, lights, you're so strong. I have pads, and then pads sitting on top of those pads to keep the mask from stopping here at my chin when I wear it, so that this part, the shelf, doesn't slide into my Adam's apple and try to choke me to death. It's important to have things that keep you from dying in your mask, and it is padding in this particular case. So here's that. And there's also an air channel in it. So as you can see, it goes in the middle, down through, and there's an air channel. You can kind of see that. From the middle, where my mouth is going to be talking against the mask, and then it goes out. And hopefully out here, I did drill a bunch of holes. You can see those in that light. See them? Three on the nose, and about 6 down each of these black channels here. Gorgeous. I couldn't make up my mind. This is the most common yellow, by the way. When you get spray paint, mellow yellow is your first thing you see on the shelf. It's the number one find on yellow, but I also found 2 more, and they are Bahamas Gold. You see that? And this is a Marigold. They're a little bit different from each other. All 3 of these are incorporated into the paint job of this mask, which with color correction, you can't see it. But you can see it does look very different from mine. And at certain angles, you notice that the shadows dip to kind of a mango. They're kind of going toward an oversaturated 2 on the yellow scale. And directly at it, it's a peaky yellow. It's a highlight. I wanted to do that on purpose. And also, something that happened when I clear coated it is I didn't wait long enough for it to dry. Remember what happened with the black in this? That leather texture that we got, I got that on this the entire way around the mask a little bit. And it makes it look really cool, in my opinion, because it looks clean from here. But if you get real close and the focus does what it's supposed to do, you can see them. Look at the cracks and the scriggly lines and texture all over it. Yeah, that's what's happening. Because I clear coated probably about 20 minutes after doing the final coat of yellow. So it kind of strangled the paint into itself. And it made all these crazy wavy lines and stuff, which I like. I like that a lot. I had in my head that I was gonna do some crazy ink stuff and just throw some crap at it and make it look really textured and grungy, but I don't wanna ruin it. I could put scratches here. I could put paint to illustrate that there's steel underneath or something, but I didn't want to do that. I kind of want to keep it the way it is. And by the way, this is actually the first time I had to remove an entire paint job. See, when you paint this, don't set it on anything. Notice that shelf. You can't set it down anywhere to paint it. You have to hook it. You take a hook like this. It's a carabiner with a hook on it. Look for them on Amazon. I'll link you, okay? But carabiner, you hook that onto a line or some rope or a rack or something. And when you're painting it, you slip that in there like this and paint the crap out of it. And that way, nothing. This touches nothing. It sets down. You have all the angles you need. 2 foot back. 2 foot back. Spray it in little bursts. Then come back in 20 minutes. Do some more. Make sure not too much paint thinner gets on this, because of all of this down here, it will pool and basically make like icicle formations with your paint, and that would be a lot of bullshit. I didn't have a fastener left, so I did 2 frictioners instead. If you get fasteners like this in a bag, they'll come 20 of them around. But if you get the actual clips that go into each other, you get about a set of 10 of those. So you're always gonna have more of these than you do the actual clips. So that's what to do with those when you run out of clips. I'm gonna put this on now. So here's this. And here's this. Behemoth of a mask. It's huge. It's enormous. Like I said, it's the tallest one I own now. It is the tallest mask that I've seen for Scorpion as a half mask variation anyway. Look at that. Kind of grows on you a little bit after a while. It's kind of strong, you know. I could take a couple Mike Tysons, just a couple of them. It's a bit muffled. It is to be expected because of how much there is in this. It's literally like I'm yelling in a bucket. There's a lot of inner space and there's a lot of holes in this, but they're minimal. They're just to get a little bit of pressure off me. But as far as like a lot of sound waves are going to happen, it takes a long time for them to get to the outside of this mask. Because if this shelf wasn't here, it would probably be a lot easier. But the shelf is here. So an advantage to having the shelf there is this. is there a little difference in how a mask feels, because you're allowed to put the balaclava down underneath your chin. So now the balaclava is down underneath my chin, so I don't have to constantly worry about it getting into my mouth or my beard hair doing weird stuff, because you can't see my beard. This is pretty good. Pretty good. I think so. I'm gonna look at you. How are you? Look at me. I'm Thanos Scorpion. Notice the straps though. Strap placement in this was very difficult to think about because it's very round. Notice how round that is. A rounded edge. Your peak is here. So the strap in my mind should have gone there, but look what's gonna happen. It would go over my ear, and that would hurt a lot. So I had to figure out the next best position for the top and the bottom strap that it would go around my ear and not touch it. So that is the placement for the straps for this type of variation. The difference is like, you look at this, you're like, well, obviously the strap goes on the top where the top tip is, and where the jawline goes down here, and it's where the bottom strap goes. Obviously. Same with this. See that shape? This is so round. It was very hard to figure out. But that's where that is. That looks pretty cool. Really hot. I mean, it's this magma. Super magma. I'm not supposed to do something with my sound waves to make kind of like, you know, that like audio illusion where you're hearing either Laurel or Yanny. It's kind of what this mask does. It produces a very high frequency in the throat, but then there's a very low bass variation because of how big this mask is and vibrating into the air. I don't know what you're hearing. Yanny, Laurel. Yanny, Laurel. But that's this. That's Villainous Prop Shop. Mortal Kombat, Armageddon, Scorpion. Looks like this when it's all finished. You know what? Get one of those and do your own thing with it. You could do whatever you want. You could do this, and then I take it a step further, like I was almost going to do. Throw black at this. Just throw black at it, and it would look really cool. Just I don't want to do that because I like this. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. What score would you give this? I give it 4.5. 4.5 for this. I would have liked less, just a little bit less on the shelf, the jaw shelf. Bring it in a little bit. It is a bit intrusive to try and touch your throat. If I didn't have these pads in here, like I said, to keep it off me, it would be just touching my Adam's apple all the time when I was talking, and it wouldn't be comfortable. But I could have fixed that myself with some more time with the Dremel if I wanted to just take the shelf down and file it down. But I was worried about it messing with the shape because it doesn't just stop. You notice it curls in downward. So I thought it would affect the actual design of the mask to take that off. So I didn't. This is taped, by the way. This was taped to do because it was terrifying. There's a very little bevel here where the nose is, so you don't actually know where to put the black. So I just went with a 50-50. Just put tape at the base and did a triangle, and that seemed to work out pretty good. But that's all I got. So, let's get back to the main video now. And so there it is.
There it was.
That's what it actually is going to look like. You've seen it, I haven't.
It's impressive. That was pretty good. Yeah, the yellow you chose. I mean, I think it would have been way better if it was a blue. I think maybe this shade of blue or this shade of blue, or you know, there's a lot of shades of blue around that you could have done. I don't know why you didn't choose that.
Because it doesn't work for my palette.
Oh come on,
You know
blue
that.
and yellow go together,
I'm the
right?
yellow.
Combat crew.
You could get this anyway if you wanted, and paint it blue if you wanted.
Yes, please
It's
do.
a complete customize. Just do what I did and not use yellow. The end. But yeah, if you like this mask, go over there, Villainous Prop Shop on Etsy and get it. Or and check out the rest of what he sells on there. DIY a mask on your own. And
be an artist yourself. So.
And don't forget that those show up really quickly. Villainous is a fast shipper. They're
He's a
very
fast shipper. He did it
inexpensive.
out of the United
Print
States. If
quality
you
is
live in the United
great.
States, within the United States, he's a good shipper to go with because he prints the mask out in like 2 days, and then he'll send it, and then in a week you get it. Usually.
That's just crazy fast. So if you need it for a project, you want to do a DIY, he's a good choice to go with. So check out VillainousPropShop. If you'd like to say anything more, Scorpion, go ahead.
I gave the score when it was finished, and I'm going to stick with that. We hope you guys like, comment, subscribe for more. Let us know in the comments whatever you else would like us to do.
Make sure to hit the little bell thing so you don't miss out on any of the content. We really appreciate it and your support. Love you guys, and we hope that you have an iced day.